catastrophic disaster, human conflict, nuclear bombs, natural disasters, chemical and biological warfare. Without warning, the world as we know it can come to an end.
22 days ago, a group of volunteers entered a 10-week experiment to see if they can survive and rebuild after a simulated viral outbreak leaves Los Angeles and the rest of the planet devastated. Their new home, a cordoned-off 80,000 square foot warehouse near downtown Los Angeles. They started with no electricity, no water,
nothing,
and no communication with the outside world.
They're not broadcasting, they're just transmitting.
As part of the experiment, an outside gang of looters and thugs challenged the colonists' resources and security. So far, the volunteers have built the survival basics.
There you go.
And after an attack to steal their resources, they assembled an arsenal of weapons. Now,
I'm looking at 5.
A quest for solar energy and a fight for survival.
No! Touch me!
As day 23 begins, the colonists are still struggling to make a normal life for themselves.
I am not happy in this warehouse. In the end, our team has one main goal, and that is to get the hell out of here.
Acquiring food and supplies after a disaster can be difficult. Eventually, you'll want to leave the city and go to a place that has more sustainable resources.
With their supplies diminishing, the volunteers have set their sights on leaving the bleak urban environment of the colony by fixing a broken-down flatbed truck. As part of the experiment, the volunteers must survive and rebuild using the limited resources on hand. But later in the experiment, they'll be given details of a possible escape route. Last week, they took their first step toward life beyond the colony by getting the truck's engine up and running.
It runs!
Purrs like a kitten.
Now, the colonists need to figure out the rest of the plan for their escape vehicle.
What do we need on this to really get out of here? Think of this as our Exodus vehicle, right? It's got to look scary, and it's got to be able to take somebody out if you really need to. What kind of weaponry can we have? I mean, one thought I had is an air cannon and or a flamethrower. Yeah, what you got, Ulani?
Even if we had something protruding out, kind of like spears like on a pole, if we could sharpen something out.
Ooh.
Along here, we all got to be able to sit. Like, we could go several miles without running into people. So I was just looking at the simple, wooden benches that we can all sit on that open up like on a sailboat. We can store all of our food on
That
it.
sounds great.
We have to watch our clearance on this. We're dealing with a 13-foot truck, so I'm thinking taking that shell off and then working the plankings.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
The idea is if we pull this, the weight of this thing is going to pull it down and snap it off, and we'll be free and clear of this back.
Oh, it took out the drill.
There we go. Cord. Done.
With the back removed, it's time to clear the busted planks from the deck, which means it's time to crank up their new generator. 4 days ago, the colonists bartered for it and 5 gallons of gasoline from a band of traders. The new Jenny should put out 4 times the juice of their old one, a jury-rigged model Mike made from a pressure washer engine and 2 car alternators. With the new generator, the colonists should finally be able to crank up their arc welder, a necessity for working on the escape vehicle.
Back to the Jenny. Damn it.
In the shop, Mike tries to figure out what's wrong with the new generator.
I had current through there. That meter shows that we have some electricity flowing, but not enough, not the right one. It's not doing it right. It should be steady, and it's not steady. It's jumping up and down. Something is seriously wrong. Right now, this is a dead deal. Joe, the trader, screwed us. We gave him 2 good machines for a junk machine.
In a catastrophe, small generators and batteries are a temporary solution for power. But eventually, you'll need something more sustainable for the long term.
Until they can fix the new generator, it's back to the old one. But that means no welding.
It's not a Jenny, it's an alternator. It's a car alternator. It was only meant to charge a battery. It'll get us power, won't get us welding power. I would give my left you-know-what for a couple of solar panels. I'm so sick of this.
I think I mentioned that I saw solar panels.
Where?
Joey remembers seeing solar panels in 2 places. On the roof of a nearby abandoned building and on his walk to the colony 22 days ago.
Hey.
I'm looking at
Where?
1 o'clock. Those have to be solar panels, I think.
They're worth a look. To duplicate the generator, we're going to need about 8 panels, just to keep the batteries charged up so we can use power tools here and there.
Maybe if you want to go check what we saw on the roof with binoculars with a few people, I'll take a few people to where I think I remember seeing them.
Let's organize our little raiding parties and get going.
Okay.
Go.
Michael is really getting everyone involved, and everyone recognizes the importance of having an alternative source of energy, and us being situated here in Los Angeles, there's no better place to tap into the seemingly never-ending energy from the sun.
All right, lock up.
The colonists have encountered thugs and thieves on the streets outside the colony. Not knowing what lies ahead, they proceed with caution.
All right, looks
The
clear.
building where Mike saw the panels and the freight yard from day 1 have both been cordoned off as part of the experiment. Joey will lead his team to the yard, while Mike takes a crew to break into the building.
Think anyone lives here?
I don't know. Steel frame door.
Let's see if I still got the skills.
Yeah. There we go.
That was it? That was it?
Hang on. I think I got it. Yeah!
There.
Woo!
Crazy.
Anything spooky out there?
Solar panels.
Those are the ones?
Wow.
Solar panels are used to power warning lights on railways and highways. They don't need to be attached to the electricity grid, and they last for years.
In fact, that's exactly what we need on the bottom. We need to take this whole thing, okay? All right, let's roll out of here fast. Come on.
Wait.
You good?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mike and his team have the more difficult task of disassembling a permanent installation on the roof.
Now I got to put all the screws back in here. I unscrewed my end over here.
After a disaster, scavenging and stealing may actually become a way of life. And the people who would ordinarily never steal are out there taking things.
The panels weigh about 20 pounds each, and these colonists have netted 14 of them. John V. scavenges materials for a makeshift litter that will carry the load.
We got solar panels and, all the energy we can use pretty much during the daytime, but now we just got to set it up. All right. There.
Let's push it down now.
You guys, open up.
Come on in, you guys.
Look what we got. Okay, just push it. Keep on pushing it now. There we go.
Way to go, guys.
How many did we get?
14.
We got 14.
Oh, damn. What are those, 75s?
75, so do the
We got
math.
4 75s over there.
So we got 2 kilowatts almost.
All told, the colonists net 18 75-watt solar panels, enough to keep their batteries charged indefinitely.
Come on, guys. Come on. First of all, let me tell you what a solar panel does and how it's made. These are very fragile. The toughest part is the glass. You can't scratch it, but you can break it. Let's say this solar panel had 2 of these cells missing, it would put out maybe 10 watts instead of 75. It's that sensitive. So we have our battery bank. We have our inverter, and our inverter gives us AC. The solar panels are all going to be lined up. The most important thing to do is to set these panels up on a stand outside.
Mike's plan calls for building a solar panel structure in 3 stages. First, they'll weld together 3 frames, each holding 6 panels. Then they'll construct a base for the frames to fit into and rotate on. The third and final step will be mounting a motorized swivel that follows the sun as it moves across the sky.
So imagine our Jenny running 8 hours a day with no noise.
And no fuel.
And no fuel. We've got the power that we need right now to do whatever the hell we want. This is a big job. Everyone's got to be involved. It's a lot of work. This takes precedence over everything.
The colonists have a great scheme for making power, but they need their new generator to implement it.
I cannot weld up the solar system. We need the big Jenny up to weld. Everything's on hold until tomorrow morning when there's light. I can jump on that Jenny and try to figure out why the hell it's not working.
Coming up,
that is freaking amazing.
The quest for solar continues. And the colonists face a threat to their very survival.
All you want to do is steal. Get the
We need to start rationing a little bit. I think we're on our last bag of coffee. We're done with peanut butter.
Currently, they have 11 days of food, 9 days of water, and only 4 gallons of gas for the generator.
I'm going to immediately jump on the Jenny. Let me work on the Jenny alone, because 2 heads in 1 toilet doesn't work, okay?
Okay, just let me know if you need help.
I like welding and making lots of strong stuff, so I need to get this Jenny working one way or another.
If you're going to try large-scale construction, you need an arc welder. It's the kind of tool that allows you to fuse metal into whatever shape you need. But it requires a good deal of power, about 3,000 watts.
After 4 hours, Mike is still baffled.
Looks like it goes to the top.
How's this going?
It's going rough, man. It's going rough.
Can you start it and let me see if I can...
We'll start it, but you measure it and you'll get nothing.
Mike, it's running too slow. The RPMs are too low.
With John C.'s help, Mike realizes his mistake.
I lowered the RPMs thinking that we'd save fuel. Lowering the RPMs
wouldn't engage, just didn't kick in.
It kicked in, but it didn't kick in enough. This thing is meant to run at 1,800 to 3,000 RPM. Let's put the damn thing together and we can weld.
With the Jenny finally cranking, the solar build can officially begin. In the side room, Mike and Joey find plenty of scaffolding pipe for the solar panel frames.
If we have 1 piece of pipe, we need 1 pipe to go inside or outside of one of these pipes.
And how loose can it be?
It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be a little loose.
A little loose.
Yes. All this stuff's the same. What's that?
Let's cut this off. Let's cut this off and see what we got. Like butter. Do it. Do it.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
There's our swivel.
All right.
Gotcha.
Got me again. Got me a couple times.
With the frames in place, Mike moves on to stage 2 of the build, the supporting base.
We're basically going to have a pole here.
Okay.
It's going to be drilled into here for a base. And then we put our big H units on top of that to hold the solar panel.
There we are.
Morning, noon, afternoon.
In the main warehouse space, computer engineer John C. is working on the final stage of the build, a motor